pleasant morning to you out there. I hope you're having a swell time. You're enjoying your day at work, you're enjoying your day at business. I hope you're having a good day. Well, it's today's live on Equa Television International, and you're welcome to join us in this beautiful episode. Yes, and today we're going to be discussing a very interesting thing that's social intelligence. As usual, I have my squad. I can already see the way they're looking at me. I have Solomon and Joyce this morning. Good morning.
Morning,
Present.
Prudence.
Is there a fault in saying my squad?
No.
Exactly.
But
Right.
it's the alert is necessary. Where your squad.
Oh,
So
But you
okay.
didn't even say anything in the first place, so why should
and
you
it's
say?
true.
You didn't say anything, so
It's
why
true.
even being defensive?
Thank you.
Oh wow. Okay, so I'm on my own today. No problem. No problem. All right. So
Well, we're talking about social intelligence, and I'm sure this is one of it, though.
Mm.
But everybody, like you always hear about, oh, you need to be intelligent, and all. And when you hear people talk about intelligence or intelligence, it's always tilting towards reading, memorizing, and then giving back.
Mm.
But today, in today's world, if you don't have EQ, I mean emotional intelligence, or if you don't have social intelligence, then no matter how much you know and you can memorize, then you find yourself being cheated. You
Mm.
find yourself having one problem or the other.
No other.
So, and that is why we're talking about social intelligence. Beyond you reading and memorizing, it is important that you also know how to relate in the society where you live, because no man is an island of his or her own self. We live and we relate with other people. So how do we relate with them? Do we relate with people intelligently, or we just relate with people just as our spirit leads us, or just as our attitude, our bad character leads us? How do we actually relate with people? Most of the relational problem that people have today, whether, oh, I'm keeping malice with this, I'm not talking with this, I'm like my spirit with this, my blood and this one does not jam, is lack of social intelligence. Like when you relate with people, you don't apply you're not like you're not even in control of your own emotion and your action. Talk more of you understanding another person's emotion and his own action. And no wonder somebody will say it's my life, or person will say I don't care anyhow you want to see me. That's your business. That's your
Business.
cup of tea. But you see, as far as we continue to live in our various communities or societies, and as far as even from the family front, we relate with our family members and other people, we must learn to apply intelligence. We must have that ability. I think it's a skill beyond being a word or a phrase. It is a skill that everybody needs to imbibe. Apply intelligence. Now, in this 21st century, we're talking about successful intelligence, not even just even intelligence reading. Like that's the lowest form of intelligence, reading and memorizing. Successful intelligence, like it entails your ability to understand the situation, evaluate it, analyze it, and then before you just take action. You don't just see a situation. I think it is this person that is at fault because you don't like the person's face, or because the person is not from your village. But you need to understand the situation. Two people are fighting. What actually caused the fight? Understand it. And when you understand, analyze it, and then profile your own solutions. So when somebody comes to you and saying, oh, I can't do, maybe you have a task to do, both of you, and that person is saying, I'm not feeling too well, and I don't know if you could help me. And you're saying, God forbid, oh, everybody's collecting his salary, I cannot come and start doing somebody's work. You need to understand that social intelligence, understanding this, putting yourself in that person's shoe. Okay, this person has never just missed work like that, but this person is saying, this is how I feel. Then think about it, that if you were in that person's shoe. So that is social intelligence. Understanding your own emotion and your own action, and also understanding people's actions and then emotions, and then learning to apply intelligence in all of that as you relate with one another.
It is very key and it is very important in our day-to-day dealings because that is what is being expected of us. Because I can relate it to when the Bible says, you know, understand the time and the season because it's social intelligence. And then the Bible says, be 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 humble like dove. Right? Am I putting it correct? I'm not just putting it direct,
I'm
but
just happy you're looking this way. So, because over time on this
picking,
set,
picking.
no, it's not PK, it's Gombawa. So,
Oh,
Oh
no, it's okay
wow.
that you seek your help
wow,
across. So, go ahead.
Wow.
wow! I can see.
Are you
I'm,
people
I'm
not
I'm
proud
trying
of
to
where you're coming
understand
from?
this.
Like, I don't understand. Are you not proud of where you're coming from? Or you wish to be from Plateau State?
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Gombe first. You know, when you said be gentle like dove, and then be what's the other one? Like serpent. You know, still
Wise as a serpent.
as a serpent. Still is understanding, is applying emotional intelligence. If personally, I'm just seeing it that way. Because you know, understanding time and season, that is when to talk and when not to talk. You know, when to to act and when not to act. You know, sometimes we are not being considerate, and then we just feel we own our lives and we can do anything regardless. After all, I don't need you. Because if I feel I have everything, because sometimes those feelings come when you feel you're okay where you are, and then you feel I don't need Joyce. But not knowing that right now, I may just feel that I don't need you. But as we are talking now, I will slump. And unconsciously, like I will slump unconscious, and you will be the first to call for help, or to start lifting me, or to pour me water, or something, without even me knowing. So imagine that you apply the same concept with me. You don't need me, I don't need you. And if you see, you see, the devil is smart and is crafty, and that is why in this present generation, he's trying to tell you that you own your life, your joy, your happiness. You can live your life. You can decide what you want to be. Only you. There's nothing as long as you can take care of yourself. So the world is trying to make you feel like the world revolves around you. So in that, it's trying to tell you like hustle your own thing, do your own thing, and then disregard prudence, disregard matter. You don't need her. But is that what the Bible is saying? Most of what the Bible is teaching us is how to relate with one another. And everything that you are looking for concerning us dealing with one another is embedded in the Bible. Because if the Bible didn't consider that important, he will not tell us to consider one another. He will not tell us to reason with one another. He will not tell us to even love one another. Because if I don't care about prudence, I won't show her that love. That's how I see it. But like I was saying earlier, the devil will just make us feel like, okay, this is what the world is giving. After all, some people are running with that ideology. And in the eyes of men, they are doing well. Because it will seem like they truly don't need anybody.
I like the fact that you pointed
Seems well.
how that the scripture talk about us reasoning with one another. That's social intelligence. Because you understand that the world does not revolve around you. You also know that you were created to have that mutual understanding and like relationship with one another. And that is why God said it was not good for Adam to even be alone in the first place. But how did we get to the point where people are saying, I want my space? I don't have, just this morning I read somebody's post. He's saying, people say I'm rude. People say I'm arrogant. People say I have pride. And why are they saying? It's not like they have any physical contact with him, but they just think he's like that. Why? Because he's trying to be in his own space. In fact, he said that he doesn't even want any friendship. He just wants to meet, have acquaintance. If we have any business we do, we finish, like it ends there and all of. Why are people saying that? Like we live in a time where it's common to hear people say, let me just be in my space. So I don't want any trouble. I don't want this and that. It is because we miss it somewhere. The people you are relating with, or the reason why you are saying you want your space, you don't want any, is because somebody that lacked social intelligence did something to you. And it now became a problem. Just when you thought, okay, there's nothing wrong in just we relating. There's nothing wrong in me sharing my problem with you as well. And then the next thing you're hearing is that that person you confided in, that person you trusted with your challenges or your problem, going out, getting big speakers, and then announcing to the world that this person that you always see happy, or this person that you think is working hard to get what she is getting, is actually a prostitute. Every evening she goes out to do good evening. She sleeps with men, and then all the money you see her flaunting, that is where she gets it. Her business or her work is just a cover for the kind of lifestyle that she lives. But you see, she came to you to say that this for me is a weakness, is a challenge. But at the end of the day, she saw her picture, and then she saw the story flying on social media, newspaper, radio, and television houses. Why? Because she confided in someone. And that's why the person is now saying, I just want to be in my own space. I don't want any problem. It is the absence of social intelligence. If from the beginning we learn to reason with one another, we learn to apply social intelligence, we understand actions and inactions, then it will have saved us a lot of, in fact, even the world, the conflict, the violent conflict that we're seeing, whether armed or natural, in form of natural disaster, some of these things we wouldn't have been experiencing if there was. In as much as I know that conflict is natural, mutual and inevitable, but there are certain conflict situations that this is man-made. For example, we know that based on our constitution, wherever natural resources or natural mineral resources is found, it's government property. But there's a sharing formula. And then somebody sat down somewhere at the nation's capital and is saying, I'm going to take 90%, while the people or the place where that natural or mineral resources is being found, I'm going to give them 10%. Why is the person making this decision 90-10%? Because he feels he's in a position of power and authority to take certain decision, and then nobody will do anything to him or her, disregarding how that resources has constituted problem to the people of that region. So they don't even have good water. They cannot even farm. They have a lot of challenges. But you are in a place where you have everything, you are saying that I'll take 90%. Before you know, people are protesting. They are agitating. They are saying we no go green and all of that. So, but if we had the reason from the beginning, if the government are saying, I'm putting myself in these people's shoe, and I think they need more. Or they are saying that, as a leader, this humongous amount of money that I'm being given as also allowance, while my people are languishing in poverty, I do not need it. I think I should provide the basic amenities. I should provide water. I should provide light. I should provide good roads. And like that, these are the least that the people need. It's you applying social intelligence. But you see, people are becoming selfish by day. If it is not about me, if it is not about my own needs, if it is not about my own emotion, then I'm not in. So you see people trampling even on entitlement of other people. And that's why people get irritated, they become frustrated, and they revolt. So we cannot continue like that. Every day you sleep, you wake up, and then it's to the news of one violence or the other, one conflict or the other. All of these conflicts are from family front down to the community, society, interstate, and even internationally. Is because of lack of social intelligence. We cannot, I can't say that I will not have anything to do with anybody. How do I buy the food I eat since I don't farm? Even if I farm, there are certain things that the fertilizer, I don't produce it myself. So I will need it. So you see, in this interaction with people, you have to show empathy. There's need for you to watch how you communicate. Let your communication be effective. Like when we apply social intelligence, I think it's going to save us a whole lot of problem. But we just live in a time where people are thinking, I'm better than this person, I'm more intelligent, I deserve more than this person, and that's why we have chaos almost everywhere. But we must learn to apply empathy. We must learn effective communication, and we must learn to understand where people are standing, the reason for people's action. Since the world does not revolve around us, and since from the beginning, the intention is for us to relate with one another.
Really, it's just really heartbreaking because human beings are naturally a relational being. You're already conditioned and patterned to have relations with people. You should have a relationship with someone, at least, even if it's one person. You would find that the absence of social intelligence o- could lead to an excess of, that's an excess that's trampling on people's rights and all that. It could also lead to a decrease, something that is really minute, and that entails that this person totally becomes a loner, and this person is um in himself, covered. It's just about me, my zone, my area. I don't have to relate with people. And when you find people like that, over time they begin to develop mental issues. You have people with schizophrenia. The major reason why a lot of people have schizophrenia is because they have been in their own circle, or rather in their own place, so long that they decide to have, they begin to have imaginations of people, and they are materializing for them, although people cannot see it. That's only because you have, over time, you don't even have someone to communicate what you're feeling with, so you want to create that person. Your subconscious automatically just does that for you. You find a lot of mental issues being related to this because this person has lost social intelligence. This person does not have it anymore, and his emotional intelligence is also on the low side. That's one really interesting fact about these things. You don't have social intelligence, emotional intelligence has a way of dropping as well. So the two of them are symbiotic. They're together. They have a very close knitted relationship, and that's how we are supposed to live as human beings. I know a lot of times we are tempted to just um you've been hurt over times, a million times over, and you just want to, let me be in my zone. Let me just be at peace for myself. L- I don't want any stress anymore. All this wahala should just stop. And you're just tempted to just do that. But then again, if you end up doing that, it's also detrimental to you. So the issue of social intelligence cannot be overemphasized. It's something that each and every one of us should cultivate. And also, you find bullies in schools, right? One major reason why you have a lot of bullies is because they too have not gathered that social intelligence. You can't be relating with someone who is your peer and you just decide to trample on your peer because you can do it and get away with it. No, that's only because this person has over time not been taught or has not learned social intelligence. You find it's a very interesting scenario. You find little children with better social intelligence than the older people. And over time, you find that a child is growing and his social intelligence is being killed by certain factors. So all these things are key. Everybody has to put hands on deck so that you would push the other and pull the other in this kind of scenario. And why I'm bringing this out is, for parents, it's really key that you observe your child. That too in itself is social intelligence. Having a good relationship with your child is social intelligence. And if you're able to do that, you would understand when your child's social intelligence is dropping or growing. And you'll be able to guide this child in a way that he should balance it, so that when this child grows, he's going to be able to have cordial and nice relationship with his people, his peers, his his elders, his seniors, and those that are way ahead of him, all these things. And he would not have any issues with low self-esteem or things like that, because over time he has built social intelligence. Really, social intelligence is really important. We need to focus our minds on things like this, things such as this. Earlier on, Solomon kept on emphasizing about how the Bible has a lot of quotes and I mean words for us that we should chew on social intelligence. One very specific one is study, so that you would be able to answer everyone. This is in one of the letters, the epistles. There's it's significantly stated or clearly stated that you need to study so you'll be able to answer everyone at every point in time. So for whatever circumstance that you're finding yourself, you're able to relate with that person. If this person is having if this person is even a loner, for instance, you're able to relate with that loner. If this person is an extrovert, you're able to relate with that extrovert. This is social intelligence. It's something that you need to understand, that if I'm relating with this person, it's not entirely the same as relating with this other person. So when I'm relating with this person, I need to understand this and that, and how I'm going to curtail any excesses that might show up and things like that. So it's really key that we do
In
this.
fact, that's one of the advantage of social intelligence. Like, it helps you to navigate your way through relationship. It helps you build good rapport with people. It places you in a position to even resolve conflict. Because you understand relationship, you understand people, like you know how to communicate with them, you know the time to show empathy, you know the time that you need to address certain issues. So it's like social intelligence keep you in a safe zone. You see, when going by the natural resource conflict theory, it says that one of the reasons why people are always engaging in conflict is because, for those people that argue that, okay, it's because of greed, that some people decided to pick these natural resources and then sell it like primary source of export, while they just embezzle the money. Others say that even the young people in that environment where these natural resources are, like, they are uneducated. You find out that people between the ages of 15 and 24 or 25 are even uneducated. In fact, today we even have, like, more than the 25, like, you see young people unemployed, yet there's natural resources, and then the government is making huge amount of money. But some other people tell you, no, the cause of the conflict there is not just about greed, it is grievances. The people are revolting, the people are protesting because they feel that the government is not competent in handling all of these issues. They are saying that there is no justice even in the sharing of the profit that is being gotten from these natural resources. Some will tell you our institutions are even like they are incompetent. Like, you're not seeing, nobody is standing for justice, nobody is standing for the truth. Everybody is just standing on the part of what I can get from out of this situation. We suppress people. Like, people just think about themselves, selfish interest. But when there is social intelligence, you will know that, see, if I pack all of this, what would this person eat? It makes you think about the other person. It makes you understand that the action that you're about to take is not a good one. It's at the detriment of the other person. So social intelligence, it makes you show empathy. That even when people are saying, see, accumulate, is your own time now to cut the national cake or to carry the national cake, you are like, no. These other people will suffer it. Like, I can't even eat all of these. And when you just look at the trajectory of some of the African nations, these are some of the reasons why we keep having one conflict or the other. Because some people decided that, no, I want to stick to my IQ. Like, I'm very intelligent. I know more than these people. These people, I can just use their head and just get whatever I can get, while I deprive them, I impoverish them, I just allow them suffer because they don't have sense. Since me, I have the intelligence, I'm more intelligent than they are. Let me just accumulate everything to myself. And you find out that sooner or later, you just have conflict everywhere. So it's very important that people learn social intelligence. It's a skill that we should all imbibe. Like, if it's going to take you time to build this skill, you should. And that is why we say, don't be proud of your weaknesses. When you have a weakness and you are proud of it, then something is wrong with you. There's no even hope for change. But when you know that this is my weakness, I'm not happy about it, I need help. You are even going to somebody to say that, can you help me? Then there is hope. So even if over time, because there are people out there that are like, oh, I've actually been living without applying social intelligence. I've been unfair to the people around me. Like, the relationship I have with people, like, it's been sour and it is all my fault. Like, there is hope. You can change. All you need to do is for you to work on understanding your actions. First, start with yourself. What are some of the attitude I put forward, especially when it has to do with other people, or as I relate with other people? What are the kind of words that I use? Because people are dealing with a whole lot. Imagine you coming to add up to somebody's problem. You do not know the struggle that the person is going through. You do not know how the person is trying to summon courage to be who he is, or to continue with the work that you and him are doing together. You have no idea. So work on your own attitude, work on your own action, then learn to understand where the other person is standing.
Exactly.
And when you do that, it's going to help you communicate better with him. You cannot just say, oh, you are fond of this attitude, and start shouting at you do not know. But social intelligence will make you want to ask, why are you fond of coming late? Why are you used to speaking to people in this manner? So by the time you understand that, okay, it's actually a character deficiency, you try to advise. Because some people are like, they are sum total of the kind of environment that they come out for, or even the family that they come out for. So you will now start saying, okay, let me help this person. Now you're telling the person, this is the implication of touring this path. It's going to affect your relationship with people. Nobody will want to be around you if this is your character, if you don't have social intelligence. Some people become friends with you for what they will get. But as far as that thing that they are getting from you is no longer there, they leave you. So you see, you have to learn how to balance or rapport with people effectively. You have to learn how to even resolve when there is conflict. How can you resolve this? All these are social intelligence.
And I like something that you touched, so I'm going to dwell on it, about how you are able to identify people because of social intelligence. That is why social intelligence is key, especially for leaders. If you find a team where the leader has social intelligence, you find effectiveness and productivity. Because this person is able to siphon every other person's strength and weaknesses to build the team to be a stronger team. You find the same thing in a football field where you have a coach and a captain that have social intelligence. That team is awesome. The same thing with athletes too. A team of athletes, for those who do track races that have, if you find a coach that has social intelligence, this coach does awesome with his mentees and all that. So it is really important that you have social intelligence, especially for us. These days, you find yourself that you're a leader even in your house. You're a leader almost at every corner. You just find yourself one way or another, you're leading a group of people. It's really important that you have social intelligence so that you're able to get the best of performance from even yourself, because you cannot do everything by yourself, and you will need help. And if you're going to get help from people, it is that you're approaching them with the right attitude and the right behavior. For some people, even the way you talk to them it's a total no. So some people are easily irritated, so you have to know how to approach that kind of person. It's just really interesting how social intelligence plays in everything we're doing, and we really play it down and think that it's just
look at
bad
look,
thing.
look at the life of Jesus. How he applied his social intelligence, and the reason for that is trying to tell us that, hey, brace up, this is the way to think. It's not everything that you must respond. And in some situations, you know, these are the ways that you follow. Just imagine that woman that was caught with the issue of
Adultery.
adultery. Look at how he handled the matter. Social intelligence. Right? Okay. Social intelligence made him not to like destroy everybody when he was about dying at the cross. Just imagine that last prayer. It could have been the otherwise. And that will happen. Like, Father, Lord, just kill everybody. He will honor him. But social intelligence, look at how
Thinking about the other people.
thinking about the other people. Rather, instead of praying for destruction, he said, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. Look at when Peter rushed that military guy and then stripped him
Got it.
of his hair. Like, he was like, no, that's not the way to go. Like,
Say,
if
you
you know
who-
what I'm carrying, you can't even, there's no way you will help me. There's no way you will help me. You know, I have the control. So he said no. And then he picked, and then he said, well, let's go. When the king was asking him, are you God? He said, you said it. Social intelligence. So it just tell us that, you know, we just have to understand the situation, like you rightly said earlier, you know, understand the situation, analyze it, and then out of it bring solution in such a manner that instead of destroying, you will bring people together and they will see a different way of handling issues in a simple way.
You see, it is lack of social intelligence that when there is an issue, for example, amongst team members, that you now as the head, you're picking one or two and then bringing them, or even deciding to say, okay, these are my clique, and then deciding to ask or hear from this side. And without hearing from the other side, you just take actions that are detrimental to the other people. That's lack of social intelligence. In fact, I would like to liken it to foolishness, because there are a lot of things we do that are social foolishness. And that has constituted a lot of chaos amongst people that live together. Like, how can you just board a public transport and you're chewing gum and making noise? Like, how can you be in a social gathering where, like, it's a meeting and you're coming with the MP and playing music loud? This is like a typical example of you being socially foolish. You are in an office and you are shouting. Like, this is an environment that people are supposed to think of how to make work. Like, you are in a place where you're expected to think effectively, to be productive. And you decide, because you are having an argument, then everybody should not work. There are times I see it in a public place and I just wonder. See, you see, this social intelligence is not something you get from school.
Yes.
That you went to
very
school
true.
and you graduated does not mean that you become social, you become somebody that is socially intelligent. No, it is not. It's far beyond that. Like I said, it's a skill that you build over time. As you live, you interact with people. There are children that we look at them and say, oh, you were born with a silver spoon, you are this and that because they went to the best school, or because they are privileged to be born in a family, a wealthy family, and all of that. So most of these children, when you see them, like, they grow up to not appreciate how they were brought up, because they did not have the time and chance to relate with people, and then they did not know some of the rudiments that they should know as far as human relationship is concerned. And then eventually they got to a stage in their life, maybe at higher institution, or when they are going for their national youth service, or eventually the person taught the part of business where you have to meet and interact with people, and then a lot of things are strange. A story was told of a young man that was at the higher institution, and then there he was interacting with his classmates. So while they were talking about childhood and how they were going to school back then, discussing, and then he was wondering, you mean you used to walk to school? Like, and then while they were interacting how they used to go to the school, some of the things they encountered, the lessons and all of that, he had nothing to say. And he said his dad cheated him. No, but the dad was trying to give him the best life. But he didn't have time to interact and communicate with people. And most of these children, when you see it, affect their esteem. It even affect their confidence. When you see them among people and you just see the person behaving, you're saying, oh, how are you? Person is looking at you like that. We have children like that. How are you? He's looking at you. But that one that is brought up in, you will receive slap. Don't answer. When you see people that are older than you, you greet them. I'm not trying to say that, okay, people that are born from that family, like all of them are like that. But you see, there are some parents that are deliberate about social intelligence. When you see people, you respect them. When you see somebody that is older than you, you give him, you don't sit well. Or when visitors come in and they're trying to talk with your parent, you're sitting down and then you're playing cartoon and all. No, you don't do that. So there are parents that will teach you social intelligence. Other parents will say, that's how he is. And the child is meeting a stranger and is slapping the stranger. You're saying he's a child. Or you're telling him, if he touch you again, slap him. Why can't you slap him as the mother? So there are things that we need to be deliberate. If you don't put your children through now, they will suffer in future. You find out that they get to a certain level where you will not be there for them. Imagine saying because you are privileged as a parent, so whatever your child needs, you do it for the child. And then he finds himself or herself in another state because he has to be there at that point in time. And you are nowhere to be found. And then you make the child go through certain kind of hard life because you didn't expose him or her to social intelligence. So even as adults, there are a lot of things we do that are wrong. You are amidst people. I mean, if everybody, sometimes I think on behalf of people, okay, I just walk into a place with MP and I'm playing music in my language. Yeah, Ashomo, 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 Ashomo Kukeni.
What language is that?
I mean, you don't understand my language.
What language
you are Awak, you are Tangali or what? So, like, it's even difficult for me to pronounce that. But then, wow, imagine that I'm coming with that song. I'm very sure you don't know what I just said. But I'm playing it loud, 100% volume.
Nice, you are talking shampoo.
Okay.
Shampoo.
You will not know when but you better learn because that's the language you speak in heaven. So,
Wow.
Say that again.
Repeat it.
Imagine now that I just come in and playing that song. That's not your tribe. It's not Prudence tribe. But I balance in that place and playing that kind of song. Even if it's in English, in a common language that we understand. Who told me that at that point in time, that's what you want to hear?
Yeah.
I do not know what you're struggling with. I don't know what you're trying to put together. I don't know what you're trying to evaluate and analyze. But I'm just playing songs like that because at that moment, me, I had one good news. No, you don't do things like that. You get into a plan, try, like these are attitudes that just spells out that this person, you are socially foolish. And we should not be seeing that happening. If you're having an argument with somebody, you don't have to drag everybody. You're having a conversation that does not affect another person. Between people, it's a lie, Manchester, Man City, or Chelsea. You want everybody.
I think she's just talking to the men folk.
You
because
see, I did not call name.
Men folk.
I didn't call name. You are calling name. Are you trying to say something? I don't know.
No, I'm not saying. You know. The reason,
take note of where you pass to go out your.
Wait, because this one that you are shouting, you are saying Man City, they were eliminated yesterday.
I was not there.
Champions League. So by that, at least you should consider there are Man City.
I was not there.
You should apply.
Nobody should
stop apply social intelligence.
That we have Man City members.
Nobody should
we
stop
have
me.
Arsenal members.
Nobody should stop me. I don't watch football. I don't know what's happening. Nobody. It's just an example. Like I hear people make arguments.
But you are right, Joyce.
It doesn't concern other people. So why would you be loud about it? You're playing music. Who told you at that moment that we're not saying, okay, there are some people that just hide under, okay, it's gospel music. Or you play preach and you're expecting if I talk against the preaching, it means that I'm a devil, I'm a witch. You expect everybody.
You know what you just said just reminded me of a story. So, a group of us were supposed to have an all-night meeting, and one of us needed to use brought us to the point where we were going to the venue where we were going to
Venue.
have the meeting, and he came out of his house, and his neighbor had parked just behind his. So he goes to her door, her window, knocks. She doesn't answer. He calls her phone. She doesn't pick. In fact, yeah, it was silent or something like that. Then later on, he tries the number and the phone is switched off. He goes back again to knock at her door because of how, like, you couldn't be sleeping for this long. Yeah. So he knocks, and at the end of the day, he just had to leave without the car, and we had to look for alternatives to go. Then he comes and he's telling us, and this woman will wake up around 12 a.m. and she's praying on the top of her voice and saying that she's a Christian. If he goes out to go and tell her that, if he makes a mistake of telling her that, take it easy, some of us, the demon.
Yes,
So
yes.
this is all. We are talking about social intelligence here. This is one of it. This is one of this way. So if you want to even call people to join you in this belief that you profess, that you believe, this is not the attitude you should have towards them. There's a way you're supposed to approach people. Okay, so the environment is a predominantly Christian environment, yes. But then again, every Christian has his own way of doing things. So that does not mean you constitute nuisance for people just because that's how you pray. Why say close your windows?
When you pray, don't
When
pray
you
like
pray.
hypocrite.
Exactly. Why did he say something like that? Why did Jesus have to go to that point to tell you, go to a corner, close your windows, and do that in the comfort of your room and talk to your Father?
Okay.
If they don't leave
okay,
it
look,
open, the
this-
demons will
Yeah,
not go.
okay, look at
So-
it this way. Okay, you are worshiping God, but you are causing someone to sin.
Yeah,
Does it make sense?
exactly. Yes. So this
just
is
that we
just
don't
a-
see it
we
that
don't-
that way. Like,
Yes.
okay, I'm doing my own service. I'm worshiping God because at that moment that's what I need. But I'm causing by action now is causing someone to sin. To me, it
Solomon,
doesn't
I
really make
saw
sense.
one
And
church, like
Yes.
two churches. One is this way, the other one is this way. Very close. So if these people are singing, these people would be hearing their song. So it means if it is time for sermon here, if these people decide to sing, that means the members in this church will not hear.
Oh.
But you know what the other church did? They went and bought speakers and put it outside. So beyond their members inside are hearing, everybody outside must hear. And it's that area is a close. And if it is a close, you know that it's just the church and this other church. So the
Yes.
speaker is for who? Do you understand? So
What a
that's lack of social intelligence.
Yeah,
That we
exactly.
serve God does not mean that we have to cause other people to sin.
Yes.
Imagine waking up in the night. You live in a rented apartment or in a rented compound where everybody, you just from this apartment to this one, and then you open your windows, you are using bell and shouting, and that's lack of social intelligence. It's possible that your next door neighbor is struggling with headache, and he's just praying, God help me and let me just find some sleep. And you are deciding that that's the time of the night where you are going to shout on top of your voice, or that's the time you want to play all the makosa, all the kind of music that you have. That's lack of social intelligence. You hear people say, "Hey, I paid for it." Like it's I didn't. I'm not
it's
saying
my
free.
room. I'm
It's my
renting,
room.
so I paid for it.
But
You
your
didn't
room is
share
not
the money.
padded. It's not padded, so you cannot decide to just constitute nuisance for some people.
You know, all you,
And people that do that would not want anything like that.
Yeah, exactly.
To be done to them.
Exactly.
yes. All you just see, you're living in a compound, and then someone wakes up he wakes up early, like 4, to do house chores, while some people are sleeping, and then you hear the person playing music. Why can't you just use earpiece?
Headphones.
You know, like not just that, but you hear the person singing
Singing
that
along.
particular song, singing along, and then the voice is not even like sweet with like the original song, and then you are outside, you are dragging this plate, you are dragging this
eating
bucket,
that
you are
and doing that.
simply because you are awake and you want to do like you just ask yourself, and then probably you go to the same church And then you wake up. You don't think. You know what generates that is just that we don't think for one
Other
another.
One
people.
another.
That's the lack
We
of
don't think. We are not being
You're not
considerate.
considerate.
And you know, social intelligence, right,
Mm.
make you to be considerate.
Mm.
And wherever you see social intelligence
Mm.
dwell,
Mm.
there you will find kindness.
Mhm.
There you will find fairness.
Mm.
There you will find
Justice.
justice.
Mm.
Name them. So that's the reason why even the Bible is emphasizing on social intelligence. And because why did the Bible say we are the light of the world? Why did the Bible say we are the salt? It's trying to tell you that there is something that you will be doing that some people will be seeing and then will be wondering. Because if you are a salt, that means you'll be considerate. And then you put other people first. And you begin to see reasons why you should be kind to people. You will see reason why it is necessary, it is important for you to be fair to people.
Exactly.
You where there is justice, that's where you would like to dwell. Because without social intelligence, that is where you will find all this negativity that we talk about.
Uh-huh.
Greed,
Yes.
self-centeredness, selfishness. You know, somebody will just do something and say he doesn't care how the person feels. After all, he will just tell you, go to hell. The person should go to hell. He has done his worst. After all, I'm in a position of power.
Go to God.
You go to God. You know, so it is very key. It is very important, you know, to have that, because without social intelligence, I don't think you will relate well. And Joyce mentioned something about family. It is very key.
Yeah.
I was listening to someone. He said anytime he sees anybody anywhere behaves well, the first thing that comes to his mind is the person's parent. He said because he believes that your good morals will start from your family unit.
Most
And to an extent, I agree with him. Aside that, then if you see a true believer that knows the word of God, that truly is obeying the word of God, you will see him with that social intelligence. But you see, what the world will always give you back as a reward is that, like you are saying, social foolishness, right? They will tag you as a foolish person because they feel you are not smart, because they feel you are weak, they feel you are a dummy, and that's why you don't see things like that. They feel you are timid. They call you all sort of names because you are being considerate,
Yeah.
and they feel that is not what the world is giving. So once you are giving that, they just see you to be just one foolish person in the society.
I just want to emphasize that it's very important that we have social intelligence.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is we having the ability to understand and navigate social situations
Yeah.
effectively. Like, and you can do that by having empathy, good communication skill, and even managing relationship. And I said earlier on why social intelligence is important is because it will keep you in the position of building the right and good relationship. It also help you to manage like conflict situation. Like you're that one person that would definitely be respected
Yeah.
if you have social intelligence, and
Sure.
it's going to save you from a lot of
Trouble.
trouble because you are able to understand emotions. You're able
Hmm.
to understand the atmosphere. You don't just jump into a place and start shouting. Social intelligence will make you go in first and understand the atmosphere before you delve into communication.
Exactly.
So it is important that we build that so that it will save us. We will not get to that point where I want to be in my all this I want to be in my space that we are hearing today is because of lack of social intelligence. I don't want friendship. I want to be in my I don't want trouble. But if all of us have social intelligence, then this relationship that we are supposed to have and enjoy, we'll have it.
Exactly.
Before phones, it was people coming to this like community, sitting together and then interacting. But now everybody is doing I'm on my own. But think about it, even on the social media, if it's only you, can you have like fun? No. So it is important that we just apply social intelligence all that
Yes.
we do. I remember
Very
back then in school, this young lady would just go out for club and then will come back in the morning as early as 5, and hostel girls, I'm back from the club. So whether you like it or not, you must wake up and know that she's back.
Alarm clock.
That's social foolishness. Yes, you went. We know you went. You don't have to announce you're coming back. So let's not be found like, don't be that one person that people say you are really socially foolish. But when people see you, let your social intelligence accord you the lifestyle, the respect that you actually want. It's something that all of us should build and have.
And I
Very
would
true.
say, let your social intelligence, point at Jesus on the cross. I think it's very key.
Very
it's
key.
important,
Thank you very much for this.
Lastly, let me apply this social intelligence. Sorry for Man City,
Hey,
Man City
Wow.
fans. Please, we didn't make any example to
well, I didn't ask anybody to
temper with,
apologize on my behalf. Lack of social
No, it's
intelligence.
me.
Did I
It's
send
me.
you?
It's me.
I take full
I
responsibility
mentioned-
for my
No,
example.
me. I mentioned me.
Okay, all right,
Me, I
all right,
mentioned
all
it.
right,
Okay.
all
Yeah, I'm
right,
coming from that angle.
all right.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
yes.
No,
Thank you
I-
very
I
much.
was
Thank
calling
you
you
so
out.
much. Thank you. Oh my. All right. So great conversation. Thank you so much for doing this. It's really been a swell time.
Thank
Really
you.
educative.
Mm.
So really, we really need to understand that social intelligence does not make us foolish. In fact, social intelligence is the best thing that has happened to anybody, because you're able to navigate every situation you find yourself easily, if I may add, or rather, more at ease than others. Yes, social intelligence is really key, and we really need to build it. We really, really need to do that for ourselves and for our own good, especially for our community and our society to flourish and to grow. It's been a pleasure doing this with you, and I do hope that you join us again tomorrow for a beautiful episode of Today's Life. Thank you so much for staying tuned. We really appreciate you. Appreciate the crew as well, so that I will not be sanctioned later. We really do appreciate the crew as well. Thank you so much for doing this with us. See you tomorrow. Bye.